வரப்புயர நீர் உயரும், நீர் உயர நெல் உயரும், நெல் உயர குடி உயரும், குடி உயர கோல் உயரும், கோல் உயர கோன் உயர்வான். வணக்கம்.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, senior officers, officials of the department, and dear friends. It's a beautiful evening as we celebrate 164th Income Tax Day today after successfully completing 163 glorious years. It's our privilege to welcome each and every one of you present here to this function. As you are all aware, this day is observed to commemorate the first instance of income tax levy on the 24th of July, 1860. We sincerely appreciate one and all for gracing this occasion with your presence and congratulate every member of the income tax fraternity for the wonderful performance over the years.
Hearty welcome to the respected Principal Chief Commissioner of Income Tax, Shri.Sunil Mathur, our Chief Commissioners of Income Tax, Madam Jayanti Krishnan, Shri D.N. Kar and Shri Krishna Murari. இன்று நம் வருமான வரி தின விழாவை சிறப்பிக்க வருகை தந்திருக்கும் மதிப்பிற்குரிய டாக்டர் வி காமகோட்டி, இயக்குனர் ஐஐடி மெட்ராஸ் அவர்களை வருமான வரித்துறை சார்பாக பணிவன்புடன் வரவேற்கிறோம். இந்நிகழ்ச்சியை நாம் தமிழ்தாய் வாழ்த்துடன் துவக்குவோம்.
கடலுடுத்த நிலமடந்தை கெழிலொழுகும் சீராரும் வதனமென திகழ்வரத கண்டமிதில் தெக்கணமும் அதில் சிறந்த திராவிடனல் திருநாடும் தக்க சிறு பிறை நுதலும் தரித்தனரும் திலகமுமே அத்திலக வாசனை போல் அனைத்துலகும் இன்பமுற எத்திசையும் புகழ் மணக்க இருந்த பெரும் தமிழனங்கே தமிழனங்கே உன் சீரிழமை திறம்பியந்து செயல் மறந்து வாழ்த்துதுமே வாழ்த்துதுமே வாழ்த்துதுமே.
We are happy to welcome the veterans of our department, retired officers, for this function.
Lighting of the lamp symbolizes the dispelling of darkness and marks the beginning of a journey towards light and invocation of knowledge. May I now request the chief guest for the day, Dr. V. Kamakoti, Director, IIT Madras, to light the Kuthuvilakku. We also request our Principal Chief Commissioner, Shri.Sunil Mathur, and our Chief Commissioners, Madam Jayanti Krishnan, Shri D.N. Kar, and Shri Krishna Murari, to kindly light the Kuthuvilakku. அறியாமை என்னும் அகையிருள் விலகி அன்பென்னும் மந்திரம் மனங்கள் எங்கும் நிரம்பி அல்லவை அழிந்திட நல்லவை நிறைந்திட உலகெங்கும் அமைதி நிலவிட அவ்வுலகில் எம் தேசம் செழித்தோங்கிட எல்லாம் வல்ல பரம்பொருள் துணை நிற்கட்டும்.
Thank you, Madam and Sirs. We are extremely grateful to our esteemed Chief Guest, Dr. V. Kamakoti, Director IIT Madras, for gracing this occasion with his presence. Now, I would like to invite Shri Krishna Murari, Chief Commissioner of Income Tax, to present a Tulasi chapling to our Chief Guest. Please, sir. Thank you, sir. May I now invite Shri D.N. Kar, Chief Commissioner of Income Tax, to adorn a shawl to our Chief Guest.
Thank you, sir. Now we request our Chief Commissioner, Madam Jayanti Krishnan, to present our Chief Guest with a Valluvar statue. Kural 385 from Adigaram Irai Marchi. Iyatralum, Eatalum, Kathalum, Katha Vaguthalum, Valladarasu is inscribed on the statue made out of glass crystal.
Sir, please stay there, sir. We have some more love for you.
And now we invite Principal Chief Commissioner of Income Tax, Shri.Sunil Mathur, to honor our Chief Guest with an idol of Lord Balaji.
Thank you, sirs. There has been a lot of transformation in the working of Income Tax Department. A number of citizen-friendly initiatives have come into force, such as e-filing, citizen charter, and Ayakar Seva Kendras. Many citizens have personally conveyed their appreciation to the Income Tax Department. Now we have a compilation of messages from prominent personalities eminent in their own respective fields on the occasion of Income Tax Day celebration. Let's have a look at the video wall and listen to them.
Hi guys, this is Anirudh and I wish the Income Tax team a very happy Income Tax Day, and I'm happy to be part of their celebrations today. The tax we pay goes a long way towards the growth and the welfare of the nation. The youth must willingly take part in this nation building exercise as well. Tax is not a burden, but it's a contribution. Let us all contribute in making India a great nation. Be proud to be a taxpayer. Jai Hind.
அனைவருக்கும் சக்தி மசாலா நிறுவனத்திலிருந்து சாந்தி துரைசாமியின் அன்பு வணக்கங்கள். ஒரு அரசாங்கம் ஆரோக்கியமாக நடக்க வேண்டுமானால் அதற்கு வலுவான நிதி நிலைமை இருக்க வேண்டும். அப்பொழுதுதான் மக்களுக்கான பல்வேறு நல்ல திட்டங்களை செயல்படுத்த முடியும். கல்வி, மருத்துவம், தேச பாதுகாப்பு, உள்கட்டமைப்பு வசதிகள் என அரசின் பல்வேறு பணிகளுக்கு நாம் செலுத்தும் வருமான வரியும் ஒரு முக்கிய பங்களிப்பு செய்கிறது. எல்லோரும் நேர்மையாக வரி செலுத்துவோம். கோடிக்கணக்கான மக்கள் வரி செலுத்தும் பொழுது அது பெருந்தொகையாக மாறுகிறது. இந்த வருமான வரித்துறை நாளில் என்னையும் பேசுவதற்கு அழைத்து வாய்ப்பளித்த அனைவருக்கும் எங்களது சக்தி மசாலா நிறுவனங்களின் சார்பிலும் நன்றிகளை உரித்தாக்கிக் கொள்கிறேன். ஜெய் ஹிந்த்.
Welcome to Income Tax Day. Dear viewers, small cricket tournament or a small sports tournament நடத்தினா அதிக நிறைய பணம் தேவை. Imagine for a country like India with 140 crore people, the kind of resources required for the government machinery to act, do all the good things. எவ்வளவு பணம் தேவைப்படும் யோசிச்சு பாருங்க. For a country like India, I request all the people who have taxable income to please pay the taxes regularly on time and make sure that the government machinery has enough resources to fund all these schemes and make sure that our lives are happy. Please pay your taxes on time so that all of us can live happily. Jai Hind and wish you a very happy Income Tax Day once again. Good luck to all of you.
அனைவருக்கும் வருமான வரி தின வாழ்த்துக்கள். நான் என்னுடைய குடும்பத்தில் என்னுடைய கிராமத்தில் முதல் டாக்ஸ் பேயர். நேர்மையாக வரி செலுத்தக்கூடிய ஒருவரால் நான் இந்த வரி செலுத்தும் நிலைமைக்கு உயர்ந்திருக்கிறேன். We are accessing the society or we are accessing the market. We are taking and giving back to the society the tax pay. We are paying tax, feel ourselves, it is our responsibility. வரி செலுத்தக்கூடிய நம் அனைவரும் சரியாக நம் வரியை செலுத்துவோம். பல கோடிக்கணக்கான வருமான வரி செலுத்தும் புதிய நபர்களை இந்தியாவில் உருவாக்குவோம். இந்திய நாட்டை ஒரு நல்லரசாகவும் வல்லரசாகவும் மாற்றுவோம். வாழ்க என் தாய் திருநாடு, வாழ்க வளமுடன். ஜெய்ஹிந்த்.
My name is Suhasini Maniratnam, and from the movies, you all know. Movies are released after a lot of effort and research, and the motive is to be primarily appreciated and earn revenue from. Similarly, the income tax returns are also released after a lot of legal and technical research. We all know that the Income Tax Department is celebrating the Income Tax Day on 24th July. The contribution of the Income Tax Department to the Indian economy has been fabulous. I would like to extend my warmest wishes and also my husband Maniratnam's wishes to that department for all its future endeavors, and may it only continue to grow in leaps and bounds. Jai Hind.
Hello everyone. My hearty congratulations to Income Tax Department and taxpayers on the occasion of 164th Income Tax Day celebrations. We know that heart is a central organ, but this is responsible for maintaining life. Similarly, the fiscal health of our country is very important to maintain an orderly life. Our physical health depends upon the tax we pay, and thereby improving our economy. I am assuring you that paying income tax will significantly improve the quality of our healthcare systems in our country. For every rupee of income tax you pay, we save lives and improve healthcare system in our country. Jai Hind.
Namaskar. India is a land of opportunities, and I'm proud to be an Indian. I'm equally proud to be a taxpayer. Every Indian should be proud of his country and take pride in paying taxes. We count on the Income Tax Department for raising sufficient resources year after year for the development of the country, and we wish to see India as a developed nation excelling in all fields. Congratulations to the Income Tax Department on the Income Tax Day celebrations on July 24.
வணக்கம், நான் தனுஷ் பேசுகிறேன். எப்படி நம்ம வீடு முன்னேற நமக்கு பணம் அவசியமோ, அதுபோல் நம்ம நாடு முன்னேற அரசுக்கு பணம் தேவை. அப்போ தான் நலத்திட்டங்களை அரசாங்கம் நிறைவேற்ற முடியும். பணம் சம்பாதிக்கிறவங்க சரியான நேரத்தில் சரியான வரியை கட்டினாதான் நம்ம நாடு சீக்கிரம் முன்னேறும், வல்லரசு ஆகும். கஷ்டப்பட்டு சம்பாதிச்ச பணத்துக்கு உண்டான சரியான வருமான வரியை கட்டுற பொதுமக்களுக்கும் அதை முறையாக வசூலிக்கும் அதிகாரிகளுக்கும் இந்த வருமான வரி நாளில் வாழ்த்துக்களை தெரிவித்துக் கொள்கிறேன். வணக்கம்.
தமிழ் மக்களுக்கு என் படிவான வணக்கம். நாம ஒரு அரசுக்கு கீழே இருக்கோம். அதான் சொல்றதுனால தான் 2 அரசுகளுக்கு உள்ள ஆட்சி கொண்டு இருக்கோம். அரசு நடக்கணும், அது இயங்கணும். அரசு இயங்கணும் அப்படின்னா ரொம்ப பழைய காலத்துல போருக்கு போய் அங்கே எல்லாம் கொஞ்சம் கொள்ளையடிச்சுட்டு வந்து நடத்தினாங்க. இப்போ அப்படி இல்லை. அதுதான் நாமே நம்முடைய அரசை வச்சிருக்கோம். முன்னே மன்னர்கள் ஆண்டாங்க, அதனால அந்த வரி வரவிருந்தது. இப்போ மன்னர்கள் இல்லை, நீங்களும் நானும் தான் மன்னர்கள். நம்மை நாமே ஆளுகிற பொழுது நடத்துவதற்கு நாம் தானே பொருள் தரணும். எல்லாரும் ஊர் ஓடித்தானே தேர்ந்தெடுக்கிறோம். ஊர் ஓடி தேர்ந்தெடுக்க வேண்டும் அப்படின்னு சொன்னா அதுக்கு ஏதாவது மக்களிடத்துல ஒரு நீங்க போயிட்டு நீங்க கொடுத்தேன்னு நம்ம ஊர்ல திருவிழா காலங்களில் நம்ம கொடுக்கணும் இல்லையா, அந்த மாதிரி அரசு நடப்பதற்கு கொடுக்கணும். இப்படி கொடுக்க வேண்டும் என்பதற்கு சட்டம் இல்லாமல் இருந்தால் நம்ம மக்கள் பொறுத்தவரை யோசிப்பாங்க. அது ஏன் பிரியா ஒரு இது விதி இருக்கா அவங்க கேட்கிறாங்கல்ல, ஒரு விதி இருக்கு. அந்த விதியை 1760 ஆண்டு சர் ஜேம்ஸ் வில்சன் என்ற அவரு நம்ம ஒரு சட்டம் கூடாது. அந்த சட்டத்தை 1961 நாமே திருத்திக்கிட்டோம். இந்த சட்டத்தின் அடிப்படையில இருப்பவர்கள் இந்த நாடு இயங்குவதற்கும் இல்லாதவர்களுக்கு அரசு செய்வதற்கும் உதவியாக தாங்கள் சம்பாதிக்கிற சம்பளத்தை தங்களுடைய தேவைக்கு மேல அதுக்கு மேல இல்லை, அந்த மேல இருக்கக்கூடிய பகுதியை அரசுக்கு வரியா கட்டணும். அதுக்கு வருமான வரின்னு பேர். அந்த வருமான வரியை ஒரு திட்டவட்டமா போட்டுதான் ஆண்டுக்கு 5 லட்சம் ரூபாய் ஒருத்தர் சம்பாதிச்சார்னா அதுக்குள்ள இருக்கிறதுக்கு வரி கட்ட வேண்டியது இல்லை. 5 லட்சத்துக்கு மேல வருமானம் சம்பாதிப்பாருன்னா அந்த மேல இருக்கிற பகுதிக்கு மட்டும் வரி கட்டணும். இப்போ 7,00,000 ரூபாய்க்கு சட்டம் திருத்திருக்கிறோம். 7,00,000 ரூபாய்க்கு உள்ள இருக்கிறதுக்கு வரி கட்ட வேண்டாம், அதற்கு மேல இருக்கக்கூடியதுக்கு வரி கட்டணும். இப்படி வரி கட்டுவதுதான் அரசாங்கம் இயங்குவதற்கு மட்டுமல்ல, நீங்களும் நானும் மிக நன்மையான வாழ்வதற்கு உலகத்தில் நம்முடைய நாடு சிறப்பாக பேர் வருவதற்கு உரிய ஒரு சட்டம். இதுக்கு வருமான வரின்னு பேரு. சித்திரவள்ளுவர் இதை தெளிவாகவே சொல்றாரு. வருமான வரின்னு ஒரு சொல்லல, ஏற்றலும் ஈட்டலும் காத்தலும் காத்த வகுத்தலும் வருவது அரசு அப்படின்னு சொல்றாரு. ஒரு அரசு எது செய்யணும்னா, தான் எந்தெந்த இடங்கள்ல வரி வசூல் பண்ண வேண்டும் என்பதற்கு சட்டங்கள் இயற்றணும். அதற்கு பிறகு அதை ஈட்டணும், அதன்படி பொருளை ஈட்டணும். ஈட்டிய பொருளை காக்கணும், அதை சிந்திடக்கூடாது. அதற்கு பிறகு அதை எந்தெந்த இனங்களில் செலவழிக்க வேண்டும் என்று வகுக்க, இப்படி செய்வதுதான் அரசாங்கம் என்று சொல்லியிருக்கிறார்கள். அதன்படிதான் நம்முடைய அரசு இப்படி செய்வதற்கு சட்டம் ஏற்றிருக்காங்க. ஒவ்வொரு ஆண்டும், இந்த ஆண்டு ஜூலை 31 நாம் வரி கட்ட வேண்டிய கடைசி நாடு. அது தனியாளர்களுக்கு கொஞ்சம் வசதி படித்த நிறுவனங்கள் பாருங்க, அவங்க தணிக்கை செய்திருப்பாங்க. அவர்கள் செப்டம்பர் 30 கட்டணும். இதுதான் விதி. இது நமக்கு நாம் போட்டுக் கொண்டது, நம்ம இது யாரும் திணிப்பதல்ல. நீங்களும் நானும் விரும்பி இந்த நாடு நன்றாக இருக்க வேண்டும், இல்லாதவர்கள் மேலே வர வேண்டும், பள்ளங்கள் மூடப்பட்டு மேலாக வேண்டும். அப்படியெல்லாம் நன்றாக பழமாக வாழ வேண்டும் என்றால் அரசோடு கூட நாம் இணைந்து செயல்பட வேண்டியது நம்முடைய கடமை. அதற்காக வைத்திருப்போனால் வருமான வரி. அந்த வருமான வரியை சுத்தமாக கட்டுவதுதான் ஒரு மிகச்சிறந்த குடிமகனுக்குரிய கடமை. அந்த கடமையை நீங்களும் நானும் செய்வது இறைவனுக்கே செய்வதாக நான் நினைக்கிறேன். நீங்கள் இந்த நாட்டுக்கே செய்வதாவது நினைக்கிறார். நாட்டுக்கு செய்வதே, நாட்டு மக்களுக்கு செய்வதே இறைவனுக்கு செய்கிற மிகப்பெரிய தொண்டு என்று நம்முடைய பெரியவர்கள் சொல்லியிருக்கிறார்கள். அதன்படி நாம் வாழ்வோம், வருமான வரியை கெட்டுவோம், நம்முடைய கடமைகளை சிறப்பாக ஆற்றி சிறந்த குடிமகனாக நாம் வாழ்வோம். வாழ்த்துக்கள். வணக்கம்.
Now we would like to invite respected Principal Chief Commissioner of Income Tax, Shri.Sunil Mathur sir, and our esteemed Chief Guest, Dr. Kamakoti, together to officially launch the trilingual version of our Tamil Nadu Income Tax website.
The website for the Income Tax Department of Tamil Nadu and Puducherry region is now upgraded in order to provide services that are user-friendly for taxpayers and keep them informed of the most recent information in 3 languages, Tamil, Hindi and English. This facilitates the taxpayers of this region and meets with the constitutional requirements of the Government of India's official language policy.
Our website serves 24/7. New version of it is now officially launched on 24/7/2023.
Thank you, sirs. Tamil Nadu is the 4th largest contributor to the country's direct tax revenue. There is a significant increase in the number of returns filed, and hence the state has witnessed widening of its tax base. Now, let me take the privilege of inviting Principal Chief Commissioner of Income Tax, Shri.Sunil Mathur, to address the gathering. Please, sir.
Chief guest of today's function, Professor V. Kamakoti, my colleague Chief Commissioners sitting on dais, Mrs. Jayanti Krishnan, Mr. D.N. Kerr, Mr. Krishna Murari, retired officers of the department who have graced this occasion, senior officers of the Income Tax Department and other departments, representatives of the Business Association, tax professionals, my fellow colleagues from the Income Tax Department, our friends from media, ladies and gentlemen, a very good afternoon to all of you. First of all, I take this opportunity to extend my warm greetings to all of you, especially to the officers and officials of the Income Tax Department on the 164th Income Tax Day. Dear friends, we are extremely honored to have Professor Kamakoti, Director of Indian Institute of Technology, Madras, as our chief guest today. He does not need any introduction. We keep reading about him and hearing about him in the media. As you all know, Indian Institute of Technology, Madras, is amongst the 3 Indian institutions which were set up for promotion of higher education in the fields of engineering and technology. And today we find that under the able leadership of Professor Kamakoti, IIT Madras is scaling new heights. Recently we came to know that for the first time, a campus of any IIT has been opened outside India in Zanzibar, Tanzania. Recently, I was also reading that IIT Madras has started one blended medical course in which there are 30 seats, and for those 30 seats, 6,000 applications were received. So IIT Madras is doing pioneer work in different areas. Professor Kamakoti himself is a leading luminary in the areas of computer science, information technology, and artificial intelligence. So we are extremely thankful to Professor Kamakoti for gracing this occasion. And I have a feeling that our association with IIT Madras and Professor Kamakoti will help us in further advancement of our technological footprints in the areas of tax collection and taxpayer services. Senior colleagues and dear friends, as it was just mentioned, that Income Tax Day is celebrated because in this day, in 1860, the Britishers for the first time levied income tax in the country. It is said that at that time, this tax was levied to compensate for the losses which the Britishers suffered in our first War of Independence in 1857. After that, the Income Tax Department as an organization, it got its recognition in the Indian Income Tax Act 1922, when the IT authorities were recognized under that law. After 1922, this act continued even beyond our independence in 1947. And the independent India got its first Income Tax Act in 1961. And since then, all of us are being governed by that act and the changes which have been made in that act. Friends, during last 3 decades, I find that there has been a transformative change in our department. I remember only few years after my joining the service in 1989. In 1994-95, the total tax collection of Income Tax Department was about 35,000 crore, which was about 30% of the total tax collection of the central government at that time. After that, the amount of tax collection by the department increased gradually, and in 2009-10, the share of the department in total tax revenue of central government reached to even 60%. And since then, the ratio of income tax department's contribution to total tax collection of central government is hovering around 52 to 55%. Last year, in financial year 22-23, our collection was about 16.6 lakh crore. And in that year, we had a healthy growth of about 17%. So what I want to convey is that the share of direct taxes in the total collections of the Government of India is substantial. The Income Tax Department in Tamil Nadu has also been doing very well. In financial year 2021, we achieved the landmark of gross collection exceeding rupees 1 lakh crore. And last year, in financial year 2022-23, we achieved net collection of more than 1 lakh crore, and our collection last year was about 1.08 lakh crore. That year, the growth of tax was 20%, which was more than the national growth of 17%. Friends, as our MOC was saying, that Tamil Nadu today stands 4th in direct tax collection in our country after Mumbai, Bangalore, and New Delhi. So Tamil Nadu has also been doing very well. There is one statistics which I would like to highlight. Many of us may not be knowing about it. The cost of collection of Income Tax Department in financial year 2021 was about 0.53%. What it means is that for collecting rupees 100 of income tax, the department spends only 53 paise. This cost of collection at the turn of the century in 2020-21 was about 1.32%, and after that, the growth in total collection has been very impressive, and the cost of collection has now come down to around 0.5 to 0.6%. So, if we talk about these two figures of total net collection of the department and the cost of collection, you will realize that Income Tax Department is collecting substantial revenue for the Government of India and in a very cost-effective manner. And with these statistics, we can challenge some of the public discourses where it is being said that the income tax should be abolished or the department should be banned. So the department has been playing a very important role in security and development of the country. Friends, I have a feeling that once the department is given a policy by the government, as a tax administrator, we have two types of roles to play. First is that we should make it comfortable for those who want to pay their taxes. And second is we should make it uncomfortable for those who don't want to pay their due taxes or who want to evade taxes. I have been in charge of the discomfortable part for last 2 years, and today I would not like to talk about it. I would like to talk about the first part. The department during last few decades has been trying very hard to ease payment of taxes by the taxpayers. A number of path-breaking steps have been taken by the department. Today, the end-to-end services of the departments have been digitized and they have been made available online. As all of you know, today payment of taxes, filing of IT returns, filing of TDS returns, making different types of applications, etc., have been made online and can be done by the taxpayer sitting at home or in their office. For these activities, one does not need to go to the income tax department at all. Within the department also, a number of business processes such as processing of IT returns, processing of TDS returns, issuing of refunds, and even assessments, they have been made online. In order to minimize the interaction between the department and the taxpayers, from August 2020 onwards, path-breaking schemes such as faceless assessment and faceless appeals have been introduced in the department. Under these schemes, the scrutiny assessments, the penalty and appeal proceedings in the department are conducted online without the taxpayer knowing who is the officer conducting these proceedings. These faceless schemes have made it extremely easy for the taxpayers and tax professionals to participate in their proceedings before the department, as they do not have to go to the department. The department has also started initiatives such as pre-filling of tax returns, annual information statement, that is AIS, taxpayer information summary, e-verification, etc., through which the taxpayers are informed about their financial transactions which are available with the department, and they are advised to take these into account while filing or revising their returns of income. These initiatives are proving to be very useful for taxpayers in complying with their tax obligations. Friends, I have a feeling that despite these major strides which have been taken by the department in collection and administration of taxes, still there is a lot of scope for improvement in tax administration in our department. Honorable Prime Minister has been pointing out that in a country of 150 crore, today there are hardly 7 crore taxpayers. An analysis of about 5.5 crore returns of income filed for assessment year 2018-19 shows that 40% of individuals did not pay tax and 94% paid tax which was less than rupees 1.5 lakh. Similarly, 75% of individuals showed their return of income less than 5 lakh rupees. and only 7% showed income above rupees 10 lakh. Recently, one study was done by Professor Ravindra Dholakia, who is a retired professor of economics from IIM Ahmedabad and who is a member in the Central Board of RBI. In his study of the national income of our country, he has concluded that in financial year 2017-18, 16% of our population did not pay tax. And he has also estimated that out of the total income of the country, 40% of the personal income of individuals was not disclosed for tax purposes. So this is a very basic estimate of the undisclosed income which is floating around in our economy. So we cannot sit on our laurels. There is a lot of work for us to do. These figures suggest that there is a lot of scope for widening and deepening of tax base in our country. I am sure in the areas of deepening and widening of tax base and improving our taxpayer services further, the technological expertise and experience of IIT Madras can play an important role for our department. The department can make use of modern technologies like artificial intelligence, machine learning, data mining, data analytics to further augment our tax collection and improve our taxpayer services. In the end, I once again congratulate all of you on this auspicious occasion of 164 Income Tax Day, and thank Professor Kamakoti from my heart for gracing this occasion. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Now let us listen to the address from the Samvad session of our Honorable Chairman CBDT, Shri Nitin Gupta.
Namaskar. On this 164th Income Tax Day, I extend my warm greetings to all members of the Aikar Parivar and all our taxpayers and stakeholders. I express my deepest gratitude to all of you for your unstinting support to the department in helping to build this great nation. 163 years of income tax in India is a long time. A lot has changed in these years. Not only have our tax laws undergone a change, our internal processes have also undergone a sea change. When I look back at the department, it is easy to see how much has changed within the department. The department itself has grown in many different ways and has come to occupy an important place in the overall governance structure. We have risen to the challenges, brought in innovation, and made path-breaking changes, creating new opportunities for us. We have never shied away from adapting to new technologies and have re-engineered our processes to be in sync with the changing times. The way the department crossed all barriers that came our way as we embraced technology, and the way we established ourselves as a frontrunner of technological advancements, willing to change with the changing times, has been tremendous. This has reflected in almost every area of our work as we have adopted technology boldly and put in place e-governance to make our processes more transparent and efficient. This re-engineering of our business processes has been for the taxpayer, who is at the center of our policies. Therefore, facilitating voluntary tax compliance is one of the most essential objectives of our tax policy. The department has taken several steps towards furthering this objective by reposing trust in our taxpayers, framing objective rules, and easing compliance by putting in place technology-driven processes. We are encouraging our taxpayers to move forward towards voluntary compliance. Providing a robust e-filing portal, providing details of financial transactions of our taxpayers through the AIS and TIS statements, making the e-filing process seamless and smooth, and responding to grievances actively are some of the initiatives taken by the department in this direction. And all these make our systems more transparent. In fact, we are also bringing about a change in the way we communicate and engage with our taxpayers. We are open to suggestions, open to feedback about our initiatives, and aim to bring about inclusivity in our initiatives. Consequent upon the paradigm shift towards voluntary compliance, the department has seen robust growth in budget collections. The direct tax collections have been rising steadily. We have achieved net collections of rupees 16.61 lakh crore in the last fiscal and are now growing at almost 16% higher in the current fiscal compared to the preceding year. We appreciate our taxpayers and our stakeholders for being our partners in nation building. We are also conscious that we need to maintain the momentum of simplification of processes and adoption of progressive tax policies. We have been at the forefront of massive e-initiatives which are being recognized and appreciated globally. From filing of return to quick processing and issue of refunds, all these processes are completely online, which is an important aspect of a progressive tax administration. Completion of assessments and appeals in a totally e-enabled ecosystem has been a game changer. In fact, these initiatives have reduced our cost of collection substantially, as we have one of the lowest cost of collection globally. We have also brought in the simplified new tax regime, and we hope that more and more taxpayers will take the benefit of the new regime this year onwards. Our emphasis on transparency with our taxpayers will continue this year also, allowing taxpayers to correct any inadvertent errors or omissions by updating their returns on payment of additional tax is a huge step in this direction. Strengthening and streamlining of the faceless processes, whether assessment or appeal, also demonstrates that we prioritize ease of compliance for our taxpayers. We have standardized our processes of issuing SOPs for guidance and strict implementation. Wherever required, we undertake outreach programs, webinars, and interactions to educate and guide our taxpayers on relevant issues. All this with the aim of easing compliance and enhance taxpayer experience. Our focus on non-intrusive methods will continue during the current fiscal. We have recently started the e-verification scheme, where if the information of financial transaction as received from reporting entities is not appropriately reflected in the return of income filed by the taxpayer, or where no return of income is filed even though there is a liability to file the return of income, a procedure of conducting an inquiry is undertaken
in an electronic manner, the intent being to nudge the taxpayer to pay the correct taxes and file the return of income correctly. We urge our stakeholders to support us in this initiative, which will go a long way in avoiding unnecessary litigation. Similarly, the department has also undertaken collection and reduction of long pending area demands in a non-intrusive manner. We have set up demand management and facilitation centers and are reaching out to our taxpayers and stakeholders to apprise them about pending demands and assist them in resolving the outstanding demands. We hope that our taxpayers make use of this opportunity to settle their pending demand issues. The future of the department is technology driven and specialization oriented. With PAN having been declared as the unique identifier for several processes, our role is only going to deepen further. Therefore, it is very important that our officers keep updating and upskilling themselves to be in tune with the changing work environment. I exhort our officers to continue to upskill themselves as being part of a service which requires technical expertise and use of technology for administration and investigation. It is expedient that we keep updating ourselves about changing technology and dynamically changing laws. Various courses offered on the iGOT platform and trainings conducted by the HRD as well as DOPT should be made use of by our officers and officials as we continue to lay emphasis on capacity building and creation of domain competencies. The Income Tax Department holds an important position in the Government of India. Not only has the department grown in its contribution to the revenues for the government, the department has also grown as a premier agency in investigation of economic crimes. We are proud to be part of history as India is hosting the G20 meet and the department has been entrusted with playing a pivotal role in international tax matters. When we look ahead, we can say without a doubt that we have a bright future. Needless to mention that it has been our endeavor to keep improving, updating, and becoming more efficient in collecting taxes with a human touch. While commending and appreciating our officers and officials for their hard work, dedication, and professionalism, I hope that we will continue to move forward and bring more changes, greater efficiency, and further improvements in our technological processes and also our approach in dealing with the taxpayers and citizens. I close this address by reiterating the thoughts of our Honorable Prime Minister. Quote, in the Amrit period of independence, we are marching ahead rapidly to create a transparent system, efficient process, and smooth governance to make development all around and all inclusive, and to adopt a citizen-first approach to further deepen the outreach of our service delivery mechanisms and make them more effective. Unquote. Let us together renew our commitment to foster a proactive, taxpayer-first approach for a more efficient, innovative, and inclusive tax administration and contribute to building a more prosperous nation. I once again convey my warm greetings to all of you on this Income Tax Day. Thank you. Jai Hind.
We are happy to introduce the chief guest for the day, Dr. V. Kamakoti, Director, IIT Madras. Sir received his MS and Ph.D. in Computer Science and Engineering from IIT Madras. In January 2022, he assumed the position of Director at IIT Madras, where he had been a faculty member since 2001.
Sir heads the Microprocessor Development Program and the Information Security Education and Awareness Program at IIT Madras. Sir is a member of the National Security Advisory Board. He was also the chairman of the Artificial Intelligence Task Force constituted by the Ministry of Commerce and Industry.
Sir is a recipient of several prestigious awards like DRDO Academic Excellence Award, Indian Electronics and Semiconductor Association Techno Visionary Award, Abdul Kalam Technology Innovation National Fellowship, Sir J.C. Bose Lifetime Achievement Award, etc. We are indeed privileged to have him as our chief guest for the Income Tax Day celebrations. Let us now invite Dr. Kamakoti, Director, IIT Madras, to address the gathering. Please, sir.
Friends, a very good evening to all of you, and I thank the entire Income Tax Department for inviting me to make a presentation today. I was just thinking, what should I do? With the advent of AI, we see massive interventions, positive interventions, which can basically take the entire process of your assessment, fraud detection, and many other normal processes which could be now automated with more intelligence that can give a citizen first approach as envisaged by our Honorable Prime Minister. So I thought that where can we use AI specifically in the context of financial management? And I am a computer scientist, I have very remote connection to finance, and also as a teacher, we have very less access to wealth. So whatever I could understand from different interactions that we had with both the finance departments, also many financial institutions, including the National Stock Exchange, where I was a member of the standing committee, and also board of the City Union Bank, where I had an opportunity to understand a lot of these processes. I put certain thoughts together, and I hope it will be useful to you. Friends, I feel that there is a compelling case for AI for financial managers. Should financial managers become AI specialists, and what does it make to become AI specialists? So I have certain case studies and certain important pointers which I would like to share. And as the Principal Commissioner mentioned, we are very much interested to invite a delegation from your department and take it forward and see what best systems that we can put in place. I'm also very heartening to note that the CBDT chair also said that technology intervention is very important, and with the large amount of digitalization that has happened, large amount of data that you are collecting, and that PAN has become a unique ID for many transactions, I think there is a need for a very big data analytics that can be put in place, where we can bring in your 16% growth should become a default year after year without much struggle. So with these type of pointers that I have, let me just spend the next 10 minutes introducing to many of you what the great field of AI has in front for financial managers. What you're going to do? Just go back. Back. You'll operate for me? Yeah. So, the way I thought we can look at it, I have a lot of CAs who are friends. So I thought, what are the things that are going into the head of the CA? What is it that the CA thinks on a daily basis? The CA is the person who is the public interface for both you and me. As a taxpayer, I approach the income tax department through SCA, and as an income tax department, you approach the public through CAs. Whether it's public finance or whether it is individual finance or corporate finance. And I thought, let us now look at what are the things that are there inside a CA's brain. What is it that a CA, why is CA a very glorified profession? And these are the things that came, and I think we can add more to this. CA has to be very clear about book of accounts, inwards and outwards, credits, debits, and you have a bunch of taxes, income tax, capital gains tax, security transaction tax, GST, customs duty, and with PAN being sort of a unique identity across this, there's a lot more. I don't think just by looking at returns, one can detect a fraud, but if you have a collective analysis of all these 5 verticals and probably a little more, there can be a much more understanding of how a particular corporate or a particular individual financial status of them. And then of course acts, rules, forms, circulars, notification, accounting standards, etc. Then comes this entire stuff of exemptions, TDS, filing, returns, input credits, advance tax, penalties. Then come a bunch of financial statements. Then you are looking at multiple things, individuals, corporates, limited liability partnerships, CSR, NGOs, each have a bunch of regulations. And then of course the different type of people that they need to handle, the IT commissioners, your vigilance officers, your enforcement directorate, CBDT, etc. So each of these horizontals with lot more of individual taxation and rules and responsibilities and regulations, I think makes the CA a very interesting profession. And this also gives a lot of scope for techniques like artificial intelligence and large scale data science to intervene and come out with at least a good guidance for both an assessment officer from an income tax department and also for a chartered accountant to look at, give a holistic feel of the entire financial status of whichever corporate or individual or the public finance that they are handling. Next. Now there are 2 types of people, the old school. Even the oldest of the school uses computers today. It's never, the handwritten things have gone. Where they look at Excel to Tally to JSON. These are standard formats. And they have already started harnessing AI in some way. For example, the Microsoft tools today have some amount of intelligence that is built in. They can quickly give you some visualization. They can give you some lot of data insights. They can sort. They can do multiple formulas on this. They can guide you how to get a very decent balance sheet. And this is something which is extremely important. So technology intervention, even for the most primitive of the CAs, auditors, or old auditors, old school of thought, still have a lot of computer intervention. Next. But now look at what is the Gen X, the new set of CAs or new set of financial managers. We have started looking at lot of power business intelligence dashboards, which can give you on a continual basis of how your financial health is of your organization. Then we have to start also dealing with multiple technologies, crypto becoming extremely important. Crypto is something that we cannot just ban it because there are a lot of things that we cannot detect, but at the same time keeping it requires a lot more of regulation. So we are in that cusp of how to bring in regulations where we can control crypto usage, but cryptocurrency is coming up. Then there are a lot of digital currencies today. Then today, people have also started using blockchain individually within organizations so that they can clearly have a non-repudiation of certain financial transactions and other type of transactions today. And then cloud accounting is also becoming, individual computers have gone. There are a lot of, even Tally today gives you cloud. A lot of business analytics today are offered as a cloud as a service. And then digital assets are coming up. Lot of digital assets today. Even a gold bond is an extremely important example. And then there are a lot of accounting automation tools. And today the latest, many of you would have known about ChatGPT. There is a Chat CPA, which I request many of you to look at. And it can tell you a lot more of insights, lot more of guidance today. So the Gen X is now moving towards a much more elaborate use of computing technologies and artificial intelligence to basically look at their common accounting process. So looking at all these things, why do we need AI? From an income tax officer perspective or an investigation officer perspective, we need AI for decision making. We need AI to solve complex problems. And these problems come because of the magnitude of the things that we need to look, specifically when we are looking at corporate finance. And then there's also a good need today because of the overwhelming amount of transactions that are happening. There is a need to perform very high level computations, and you need a very good amount of compute facilities. And then of course, today we need a lot more of increased accuracy, because when we look at a citizen first approach, I think accuracy from our end, from the department's end, is extremely important. We don't want to charge 1 paisa more for more than what it is due, and that is becoming extremely important today. So now look at who is chartered accountant, meaning an income tax officer. See, today these CAs are very super fast. Accounting and filing, IT acts on tips. They work based on rules. So there are a lot of heuristics there. And these rules are changing, and they have to be quickly, they need to update with the recent rules. And they understand and interpret many processes, because English, though a good contribution, has a lot of ambiguities, and this ambiguities that keep the whole bunch of people, auditors and other people, on the toe, because there is multiple interpretations that come. And then they are very intuitive and predictive. Looking at the balance sheet, the transactions and all the analytical things that they need to do. And very importantly, detect anomalies in or from transactions, and also identify what is normal, what versus what is a deviation. And they also monitor the income tax, basically from expense, risk, liability, and also visualizes issues and warns you of trouble you might face. They also do a lot of deep learning in the sense that they have to completely keep themselves updated of the rules. And they also do, it's just hidden here, they also do something called adversarial learning, where they need to handle, suppose an income tax query comes, they need to protect the client, or they need to justify the client, and how to handle them. So all these sort of things are basically inbuilt in our interface, both the interface, the CAs, who are the interface between the public and the income tax department. Now let us now take a different look on this. On the other hand, when we look at AI in my opinion is chartered intelligence, and where again we are looking at super fast automation, and AI is also rule based. There are a lot of heuristics. They also do a lot of natural language processing today. They can understand, you give them both structured, semi-structured data, you can give a PDF document, you can submit a rule, and that's what your chat CPA does. It takes all your rules and it can give you interpretation. It is very intuitive and predictive. It uses a lot of statistics. It uses a lot of machine learning and models. And very importantly, it is very good in anomaly detection. And it can give you a lot of monitoring and visualization. And of course, the deep learning and adversarial learning are inbuilt in the AI system. And today we have these GPTs. So, put together, we see the role of a CA and the role of AI, we see a lot of similarities. Whatever we expect as a talent with a chartered accountant is what can be replicated and be made available through an AI-enabled engine. So this essentially means both from the assessment officer point of view and also from a chartered accountant's point of view, there is a good AI support that we can give, which can lead to quick analysis of these cases. You can quickly converge on what is correct, and we can give a very just and fair assessment, and this can be also useful in quick finishing of all your cases. And that is where AI is going to play a very important role. Next. Now, in this whole process, friends, data is very critical. And whenever you are doing your assessment or you're in part of any system, please ensure that the data is authentic, the data is integral, it is not changed, and the data is sanitized and it is correct. And that becomes extremely important. So what you see on the rightmost, your leftmost part, is that data comes in, and what you see on the right is an insight that the data can basically give you. And what is intermediate are the great important fields of what you call as data science, which is on the top, and then you have the machine learning and data mining as two engines that are being basically fueled by the data science, and you have the artificial intelligence and big data as the two enablers. So when the data comes in, we are looking at analytics of this data, and through this we build business intelligence. There's a lot of statistics involved, and then very importantly today, data visualization, by which you can do multiple things on your assessment, on fraud detection, on seeing what is normal, what is deviation, on prediction of certain events. Many things we can build into the system. And you see that this is fired by a lot of very new technologies, including what we call as a deep learning. So machine learning, many of you would have known about computers playing chess. It is based on a set of rules, and the whole game is played by the computer just following the rules. But what is deep learning is that from the movements or from what has happened in the past as a chess player, as a computer being a chess player, the computer itself learns, okay, if this is the pattern, I need to do something more on this. And that it learns by itself, and that is what we call as deep learning. Now, when we start these assessment processes, there will be a set of rules, but those rules are being coded with a lot more of ambiguity that comes from English. And as and when every time a judgment is made, a case is resolved, or a claim is settled, there is a learning process, and that the engine can learn by itself, and it can become a more refined business intelligence that it could build, or your assessment intelligence it could build. And that is very important for you. And on the next part of this is that you get a lot of data. And when you are doing an analysis, there will be very structured data that comes from your database. There can be a lot of semi-structured data. I'm sure you see a lot of emails, and these emails need to be analyzed. And then you get completely unstructured data that would be your PDF files and etc. That could be your rules, regulations, etc. Now, these are some very important things that as a department today, using of AI can basically bring in the insights that structured, semi-structured and unstructured data can bring together when you are trying to solve an assessment issue. And that is something very important that artificial intelligence today can do. And as I had mentioned, natural language processing can today have the ability to look at all our 23, all our official languages, 23 plus 1 or 22 plus 1, and we can basically start analyzing these language documents and make a very good insight onto this. And if you look at the entire big data, the Venn diagram that you see on the middle, there is a lot of volume that is being generated, a lot of data that comes. There's a velocity, especially when there is a deadline. For example, July 31st, the last date, your quarter ends, your September 31st. So you have a lot of deadlines, and there is a lot of velocity by which this data gets accumulated, and then you have a lot of variety of data. So all these things make big data, and for every data today, you have a lot of metadata that is generated. What you see on the right, your rightmost side, you see a cat, but then there is a lot of definition of that cat, which we call as the megadata. Now, given all these things, there are certain very important myths about big data that AI will help you solve. For example, if there is correlation between two things, say X and Y, it doesn't imply causation. Causation in the sense X is the reason for Y. If there is a correlation between X and Y, it doesn't mean that X is a reason for Y. If you are a data scientist, you necessarily need not be a computer scientist. So this essentially means that data science is much beyond computer science. And today, many of us keep thinking that, when we want to analyze the system, I need to build a tax model to analyze taxation. It's not necessary. So there is that the basic interpretation of the data is much more important than building models. So a lot of things will come out as you start using AI and from a big data point of view and do a lot more data science, then it certainly will be of very high benefit to the department. Next. Now, this is the correlation that we are finding between the CAs and the data scientists today. There is a foundation course, there is an intermediate and a CA final, and same thing you see here. There is some set of people who call as data scientists who can basically take the data, apply certain formulas, and basically get out certain predictions out. But then there are data engineers who enable making these systems which the data scientists use, and that is the intermediate level. And of course, there are data analysts who are extremely important, who actually takes the data, given the data and interpretation given by the data scientist, and brings in a business view or a business relevance to that. And it is also extremely important that all of you, all people involved in income tax, become a data analyst. And that is going to be the next generation income tax department that we need to see. Next. Now, this is a very important question that we see. Today we are, when we generally look at taxation, we are looking at ineligible claims, we are looking at false report and tax underpayment or foreign accounts and money laundering. These are some of the important things that we look at when we want to detect a financial fraud. But now look at on your right hand side you see there is non-payment of taxes, but then there is no evidence of earnings, right? And we are presenting, there are cases where we are seeing the misleading bank statements, bribing, money kept far outside India, incorrect submission of tax documents, obtaining tax benefits by making false statements. Instead of paying state border taxes, smugglers pay import fees. So many things come in this. So the biggest question here, and then this is compounded by sheer volume of transactions, forms of transactions, cross-border transaction, and to add more salt to the wound, we have dark web and complexity of data sources, we have cryptocurrencies and various forms of collected data. These all pose very huge challenges. So there now comes a question, are just auditing, accounting and investigating enough to detect these new age frauds? And this is where we really want to take up a much more elaborate technology driven approach, specifically from a fraud detection perspective. So let me give one case study in this direction. Next slide. Okay, we can skip this. These are the definition of what you say a fraud in both from an RBI perspective and the Institute of Chartered Accountants of India perspective. It's an intentional act, and they say it's a deliberate act. But then from this point, we need to extend this definition a little more. It's a very debatable thing on how we account for the different types of frauds that could come, especially in this era of technology. Next. Now, this is a very interesting case study that I just thought we could put. There's something called non-fungible token. So just see on your right-hand side bottom, we see there are fungible and non-fungible assets, and these assets can be physical and digital. Now, an example of a non-fungible, that is, which I cannot transact or we cannot make an exact duplicate, a non-fungible physical asset would be a house or a piece of art. While a fungible asset can be your currency, your gold coins, etc. On the digital side, a non-fungible asset can be some documents that you have. On again, fungible assets can be your credit cards, etc. So we have a set of fungible and non-fungible assets. Today, one of the very interesting frauds that could happen today is that you have illicit money. Now you go and buy, convert it into some cryptocurrency through smurfing. There are many techniques by which people get it. Now you buy these non-fungible tokens at some cheap prices, and then you go and artificially inflate this price by a planted counterparty who buys at a really high price, and then you convert the earned crypto into fiat. Now what do? You go to another country of interest and you convert this NFT into crypto, into fiat currency by selling this NFT, and then you have a legitimate fiat currency here. So this is a very, we think by lot of automation, this actually becomes almost going to a shop and buying brinjal. Okay, so this can be done. And this type of an money laundering, how are we going to detect? And if this is going to happen in a large scale, it can actually have a parallel economy. So this is something that, we need to start looking at, and it cannot be just income tax department. Now, bunch of regulatory departments need to come into place, but then this is very, very important. Next. Now, these are very interesting techniques. So there was a Benford's law, which basically told that, in many of the public data, the starting digit will be 1 with some probability, then the second digit will be something with some probability, etc. And today, when we get the data, right, so this is one Enron's 2000 financial data was eventually found to be fraudulent because it violated the Benford's law, because the Benford's law gives a set of distribution, but then this data was very away from this distribution. So there are certain very interesting things that come out of your own analysis. Like Benford's law, we could have multiple laws that comes because of the data that we are seeing, the correct data and the fraud data, and we could come out with many laws that we infer from our Indian type of financial environment in our country, and these laws can be used in a regular basis to basically go and fix certain financial frauds. So this is a very interesting thing. I just please search for Benford's law and find out how Enron's, ENRON's financial fraud in data was found out. This is a very interesting thing, and I just wanted to present here because this is something with the volume of data the department can take up. And we see that we need to now do, in addition to your general ledger and your trial balance reconciliation, we need to start doing perform fraud monitoring and exceptions. And we have several such ML techniques which can look at machine learning techniques which can look at this. For example, we have decision trees, we have neural network, and many things which can help you do this type of analysis. Next. Now, the last one that I'll just wind up here. Now, when we start making our systems depend upon data, right, it is very, very important that we need to ensure that the data which we are using for developing our machine learning and all our decision making should satisfy 4 important properties. One is robustness, another is fairness, another is explainability, and another is lineage. Specifically answering the question, did anyone tamper with it? We should be sure it is not tampered. Is it fair? Does it be inclusive? The word which the CBDT chair also used. We need to have an inclusive approach. Is it easy to understand and explain? So after making a decision, if the taxpayer comes and asks, why did you make this decision? We need to explain. And then, is it accountable? So these are all very important things. And AI has the good, the bad, and the ugly. So AI can be used for all these three things, and we have to be very sensible, very careful to see that the AI is for the good, not even the bad and ugly. And for that, we need to do something extremely important as what we call as responsible AI. IT Madras recently has started the first center for responsible AI in our country, where we bring in this explainability, we bring in this, responsibility to the whole scene. Because I am making a decision, again, when we want to be a citizen first approach, you need to be extremely careful of all the decisions that you make. So friends, to conclude, next. I'll be happy to answer some questions to the extent, but I feel that the time has come very much that we need to start looking at AI in a very detailed manner, specifically from an income tax perspective, from the financial management perspective in general, and income tax in specific. And I take this opportunity, having addressed you today, to see how your department and IIT Madras can work together to make certain very interesting interventions of AI into the entire process of taxation and assessment. Thank you very much for this opportunity.
Thank you very much, sir, for taking us through the different phases of AI and spotting the potential areas of its application in the field of taxation. That was truly an enlightening speech, sir. Thank you. We request our senior officers of the department to kindly accompany our chief guest to the front row to witness the cultural programs. We have a musical retreat to be rendered by Lydian Nadaswaram and Amirtha Varshini. Lydian Nadaswaram is a young Indian musician, incorporates elements from many musical genres such as Western classical, jazz, blues, Carnatic, and much more. Lydian plays more than 20 musical instruments such as piano, drums, guitar, bass guitar, etc. He is the title winner of the CBS World's Best Competition Season 1 in 2019. He represented India amongst 185 countries around the globe.
His sister, Amirtha Varshini, is a versatile musician and singer. She is the sole flautist in the orchestra of the Madras Musical Association. She is also an accomplished vocalist, singing a variety of songs from classical opera to Tamil film songs and folk songs. Please put your hands together to welcome Lydian and Amirtha Varshini. The stage is now over to them.
Seen anything like what we just witnessed.
I'm just trying to hold my tears in right now because that was remarkable, Lydian.
For example, in my left hand, I can play Mission Impossible, and on my right hand, I can play Harry Potter simultaneously. So both are different time signatures.
Yeah, that's incredible. And so how was it to perform on the world's best?
It was really a different experience to me to have an opportunity to play piano in such a huge international platform, and I'm thankful to the World's Best team and the CBS for selecting me as a contestant, and it's really a fortune to see so many talents around the world, and also so many judges from all over the world, and 3 American Prime judges, and that was just really awesome. And my sincere thanks on behalf of my country and on my family to the United States of America.
Well, That was amazing.
Thank you.
That was incredible.
Thank you so much.
All right. I know that you want to play on the moon. I can't get you to the moon, but I got something for you. Next time you play, you're going to play with the moon on your back, and so it's close enough to being on the moon.
And the act with the most votes will win $1 million and be crowned the world's best. For the very last time, let's face the wall of the world.
Good evening, one and all. I'm so happy to be here, and thanks to the Income Tax Department for inviting me here to perform, for the celebrations of the 164th Income Tax Day. And my special greetings to all the dignitaries gathered here and to all the officers and officials. So to begin with my performance, I would like to play a Western classical piano medley, and these two pieces was a request from the income tax officers. So thank you so much. Let me continue. Thanks. Thank you so much. So next, I would like to continue with a very famous piece called Chopin's Nocturne in C-sharp minor, and it's a slow piece, and this is also a request from the Income Tax Department officers. Thank you. Thank you so much. So now moving on from Western classical, and now I would like to play a medley of famous Hollywood themes along with a video which has the movie clips in it, and there'll be a background track playing, and that background track is arranged by me too. And in this, a special thing is in my right hand I will be playing a theme, and in my left hand I'll be playing a theme both simultaneously. So that's a special thing about this segment. So there'll be a video too, so you can play the video. Thank you. Thank you. So now for the next performance, I would like to invite my sister Amrtavarshini onto the stage to join me with flute. Now we both are going to play a very famous instrumental number. It's from the album How to Name It. It's the album released in 1986, and it's composed by Maestro Isaignani Ilayaraja sir, and it's a piece called Do Anything. Thank you. Thank you so much. So next we are going to play a medley of Dr. A.R. Rahman sir, and this will have 2 songs in it. It's very famous songs, especially for flute. Thank you so much. Now we are going to play some famous medley of themes of Maestro Isegnani Ilayaraja sir. So there's going to be some iconic themes from his classics. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Now I would like to invite my father onto the stage to join us with vocals to sing a song. Thank you so much. So now what I'm going to perform will be the last song of our segment. So it'll be a special. So this is going to be a special performance that is In my right hand, I'm going to play the Indian National Anthem, and in my left hand, I'm going to play the National Integration Song, which is Mile Sur Mera Tumhara, both simultaneously together. So I would request you all to raise up for this performance. And please excuse me, I have to sit and play for this. Thank you so much. Thank you.
What an incredible and mellifluous performance. Thank you, Lydian and Amrita Varshini. That was a real feast listening to you both. As a token of our love and appreciation, may I request our Principal Chief Commissioner Shri.Sunil Mathur sir to present shawls to Lydian and his family. We request our Principal CC, Shri.Sunil Mathur sir, to please adorn shawl. Lydian Nadaswaram. Amrita Varshini. We'd like to honor the proud father, Shri Satish. For the mesmerizing music that they gave, we would like to present them a memento. We also request Srimati Satish to please join. We request our Principal CC to please present the shawl to Mrs. Satish. A memento is to be presented by a Principal CC to the family. Thank you, sir. And now we have an exhibition of our in-house talent. A music performance is to be rendered by Shri Shashank Ramakrishnan, son of our former Chief Commissioner, Shri Ramakrishnan sir, Srimati Srividya, Income Tax Officer, and Shri Kalyanaraman, Income Tax Inspector. This is the last event for today's celebration.
Akshay.
Good evening to all of you. I am going to play Swagatam Krishna, Swagatam for Income Tax Day celebrations and Swagatam for Krishna, set to Ragam, Mohanam, Aditalam.
Yeah, so I'm going to perform a song called Chandrachud Shiva Shankara Parvati. It's a song dedicated to Lord Shiva and Parvati, and it's set to Aditalam.
Stand me. So namaste, good evening to one and all. So I'm going to play Adi Talam for a few minutes, maximum 5 minutes, and I will wind up the program.
Such a divine performance. Heartfelt thanks to the in-house team for taking us into the world of divinity. May I now request Srimati Jayanti Krishnan Madam, Chief Commissioner of Income Tax, to appreciate the in-house team by presenting a shawl and a memento. Please, Madam. Madam Jayanti Krishnan is now presenting shawl to Srimati Sri Vidya, Income Tax Officer, an excellent Veena player. And Madam is presenting a memento of appreciation now. I request Madam to present shawl to the Mirdangam Vidwan, Shri V. Kalyana Raman, Income Tax Inspector. And a memento too. Finally, for the young and charm, Shri Shashank Ramakrishnan, son of our former Chief Commissioner, Shri Ramakrishnan sir. Thank you, Madam. Thank you, team. On behalf of Principal Chief Commissioner of Income Tax Office, we extend our heartfelt thanks to all of you for gracing this occasion. First and foremost, our sincere thanks to our esteemed guests, senior officers, officials and veterans of the department for their presence. A special thanks to Shri Premanand, Commissioner of Income Tax, for his efforts in compilation of messages from prominent personalities. Our heartfelt thanks to Lydian Nadashwaran and Amitavashini and our income tax team for their extraordinary performance today. We extend a special thanks to all the members of various committees for their dedication and effort in organizing this event to a grand success. We also thank the technical team, media and housekeeping staffs for their support. Once again, we wish you all a happy Income Tax Day. Thank you one and all.
On behalf of the Office of Principal CCIT Tamil Nadu Puducherry, it's a pleasure to invite you all for the high tea in the dining area in the ground floor. Let's rise for National Anthem.
Mana Adinayaka Jaya He Bharata Bhagya Vidhata Punjab Sindh Gujarat Maratha Dravida Utkala Banga Vindhya Himachala Yamuna Ganga Uchchala Jaladi Taranga तव शुभ नामे जागे तव शुभ आशीष मागे गाये तव जय गाथा जन गण मंगलदायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता जय हे जय हे जय हे जय 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 हे